first pick.
All righty, we have another awesome interview here with On the Clock with Just Baseball. We have Brooks Bryan out of Troy University, catcher, one of the top prospects in just college baseball. Brooks, how are you doing today, man?
Good. How are y'all?
Good, man. We're excited to have you on. We've been following your college career for a while. Really excited to dive into it. First question we usually ask guys, just because of the viewers who might not know who you are, give us a little background on kind of how you've gotten to where you are today. Take us through your journey through amateur baseball.
So I've grown up in Opelika, Alabama, which is right beside Auburn, hour and a half away from Troy. So it's been pretty close my whole life. So played baseball, football, basketball, kind of throughout middle school and just kind of growing up, and that's kind of what I enjoy to do outside of it too. And I mean, going to hit with my dad since I was a little kid. When I was little, it was kind of the forced thing. You were going, and then it kind of, once I saw my opportunity that I was pretty good, it kind of clicked for me, and I was like, yeah, now I'm asking him to go, and I felt like that's kind of was my biggest turning point in my baseball career.
I love it. Talk a little bit about your experience this summer, right? You got to play in the Cape for a little bit. What was that like? What were some of the biggest takeaways that you had from that experience?
I mean, it was awesome. Just obviously coming from Troy, you're not like the SEC, ACC, Big 12 kind of school. So, I mean, I think it was awesome kind of seeing where I stand with those guys, because you always hear yeah, you're lower conference and stuff. And I kind of just use that for to get me going. And I felt like I really played and fit well with those guys up there, and just kind of meeting those guys and learning kind of what they do to be successful, and seeing what makes them click and what makes me click. And just certain drills were cool too. I mean, every hitting coach has different stuff, and all the players like different things. I think it's just kind of cool just learning what they do.
Yeah, I love that. Before I turn it over to Tyler, is probably going to ask some questions kind of about your development. Talk about going to Troy, right? You mentioned kind of having that chip on your shoulder, being one of the mid-major schools. I know you have some family lineage. I think your grandfather played at Troy way back in when. Talk about what it means for you to be able to play for Troy, but also be at one of those small schools and kind of really show everybody that Troy can produce some really good baseball players.
I mean, it's awesome. I love Troy. My coaches are just perfect, especially for me, as y'all's probably seen, my development has come a long way. And I mean, I'm obviously I've worked hard too, but a lot of that goes to them, and then putting me in the right situations, the right strength stuff, nutrition, stuff like that, and just helping me learn how to do that in a mature way has been my biggest takeaway kind of thing. And just learning how to keep that going, especially when you go home over the break, your parents cook good, and you just got to learn how to be smart about it. And you can't eat a little too much. But I mean, I just feel like that's the biggest thing for me.
Nothing better than good old Southern cooking, you know?
That's right.
So I did want to ask you this, because I don't know if you were the first Troy alum to go to USA, or if you're one of the first, but your experience playing with USA this summer, you had Skylar Meade come over with you to help coach the team. What was that experience like for you, and how it felt having your skipper on the coaching staff to help you out as well?
I mean, it was super cool just knowing the honor that both of us have gotten from Troy is kind of just putting Troy on the map kind of thing. And growing up, like he was saying, with my family there, I feel like it's just always been kind of a place I've wanted to go, and just doing that for that city and that baseball program has been big to me. But I mean, he's an awesome coach. I love playing for him. So, I mean, I feel like it made me a lot more comfortable at first when I was there, because I mean, I really didn't know many of the guys. I mean, they kind of know each other from playing each other. And I mean, I had I had a roommate that I knew, but I mean, other than that, I kind of didn't know the guys. So, I mean, and me and him are pretty outgoing people. So, I mean, I feel like we kind of fit in pretty well, pretty fast. But at first, he definitely made it a lot more comfortable.
That's awesome to hear. And I know you and Caden it was Sunbelt catchers basically on that USA team, which I thought was cool.
Yeah, that was a pretty cool thing, just seeing both of us come from the Sunbelt and representing.
Yeah. Was there any standout moment, or any game that stood out to you from, say, the spring or even the summer that kind of gave you the idea of this is where I am now, I belong amongst these top guys and not even the southern part of the USA, but just the country in general?
I feel like the first home run I hit at USA kind of clicked, because the first pitch I saw that at bat, I was like, I felt a little rushed, and I was like, all right, I need to make an adjustment. And I felt like that was the time, like in my head, I clicked and I made like an in-bat adjustment. And I mean, I've done that before, but not like that sudden. And it was the next pitch I hit a home run on, and I was like, all right, this is actually crazy. And learning how to like I was saying, just being mature in the box and stuff. And I feel like that's kind of when everything clicked for me. And it was like a 97-mile-per-hour fastball hit backside, and that was like a big confidence booster for me, but just like leaning that momentum and keeping it going.
I was gonna say, I remember it was fastball. Do you remember who it was off of?
I think it was Liam Peterson. Because
okay.
I mean, it was a good pitch. Like, it was up and out. I mean, I just.
All right. And then the one thing that you're looking forward to this season, obviously, I know you're probably gearing to get back out on the field. It's cold as hell right now. But like, what's the one thing you're looking forward to for 2025?
I mean, I'm just excited to be back out. I mean, it's kind of the point where I'm at home where everything's just kind of like everybody's heading back. And it's just like one of them things, all you're thinking about is the baseball season. And it's just going back, seeing your boys, hanging out with them, going to the field, and just like kind of just the camaraderie, getting back with everybody, your coaches and stuff. And I'm just super excited to kind of go out there, ball out, just play loose and just be myself.
I love it. And hopefully we don't have to deal with snow here in the next week or so.
Hopefully not. Hopefully, well, we need a little bit before baseball season because in Alabama we don't get it. I haven't got it yet, so it'd be cool before baseball season to go out there and play with it, but not during the season.
Yeah. Have you ever – this is just me as a Southerner asking this, but have you ever experienced snow that far south?
I've had it like twice, and like it's so cool. Everybody goes out and plays. Like, they're both when I was a little kid too. So I mean, I was out there till the sun pretty much melted it all up, and it's an awesome experience.
Yeah, the snowboard over here to my my left, your right. I'm sure he's probably tired of snow as well.
It's fun.
Yeah, I was going to build a little bit off what Tyler was talking about with Team USA and then your Cape experience. Who was the toughest pitcher you faced this summer?
All right, so I would go to the Cape. This kid, I think his name was Jack from Arkansas. He might have got drafted. He was on Wareham, I think. Jack Faraday, maybe. And he like it was like out of the hand, like you'd barely. I mean, I got a hit off him. Like, it's one of them at bats. It's like, all right, how did I actually hit that kind of thing? But like everybody was like you couldn't see it. Like, it was just like kind of flew out the hands, and I was super proud of myself. But I mean, at the end of the day, like he was really good.
Yeah, I love that. I like to kind of dive into some of the human side things, like some of the things that you love to do off the field. So talk about some of the passions that you have away from baseball. Like, what do you do to kind of take your mind off of the performances and the day-to-day grind of baseball?
I feel like my favorite thing to do is like go hoop. Like, I love going to play basketball with my friends. Like, in general, like that, like growing up playing basketball, like basketball is one of my favorite sports. I just like it just wasn't going to work out in the future. I wasn't gifted to be a basketball player, but I love going to shoot basketball. Playing video games here and there are pretty fun. The new NCAA came out, so I've been grinding that a little bit, and Fortnite, the little OG. So I've been back on the wave. But I mean, playing video games and shooting basketball and just going out with my friends, bonfires, stuff like that are probably my favorite things.
Are you an NBA or a college basketball guy, or both?
I'm a college guy.
Yeah. What's your college team? I guess you'll have to say Troy, but
yeah, they're good this year. Shout out Troy. They're good.
I love it. And then for you, kind of growing up, who are some of your mentors that kind of have helped you along the way, not just in baseball, but in life?
I mean, I would say both my parents. I mean, that's a pretty cliche answer, but at the end of the day, like, growing up, going off to college, you get a lot more thankful for what they have done. And when you come back home, you kind of start thinking about it more like, dang, everybody's growing up. You're like, all these things they've done for me. You see other like people like not really appreciating it as much. And you're like, look at them and you're like, God, man, like it makes you really think about how thankful you really need to be for them. And I have a younger sister and just all the things that, I mean, she's done for me. And I have an older cousin that played on football at UAB, which is in Birmingham. So, I mean, kind of just watching him go throughout the journey is kind of just like cool to watch and learn like from the maturity, because he does strength conditioning stuff now. So just learning things on that side from him is just all kind of just correlates together.
I love that. And then for you, kind of, what are some of the goals for 2025? Not just for you personally, but for Troy baseball overall.
I mean, obviously, you say the goal is to win national championship, but there's a lot of things that go into it. It starts in the fall. Like, people don't understand that, and like coming from me, like I had a horrible freshman fall. Like, it was like, golly, like, am I gonna be able to do this kind of thing? But just sticking through that, and I think people need to understand the fall is really serious, and like, especially just for camaraderie, like the locker room. That's how you get like closer together, and people want to play for each other, kind of thing. And I just feel like we just got to build off on every moment and just like kind of work off that and just dominate. Like, that's just the goal. But
I love it.
Goals, like, I'm not really one of those that go out there and just put personal goals out. I just like to go play loose. That's just kind of how I am, and just let everything happen the way it happens.
I love that. I was looking at your schedule earlier today. I know you guys got like a 1-game series against Auburn, one against Alabama, one against Virginia Tech, and then of course you have your like conference schedule against Coastal. Is there a team or series that you're really looking forward to most this year?
I mean, it's probably like the answer I probably would tell everybody, but going to play Auburn, because I'm from Opelika. My house is literally 10 minutes from Auburn, so I feel like that's just going to be the coolest game, because I've already had a lot of family and friends like hanging out, going to bonfires and stuff. They're always like, yeah, we're going to be there. And the thing is, I have a bunch of friends that go to Auburn University, so they're all like, I'm going to be there. And I mean, that's going to be like a super cool game, because we went and played them my freshman year at Auburn, but I didn't play. But even just seeing the people that actually came out for me, it's like, all right, I want to make them know that I'm thankful for what they've done for me as well, and just going out there and playing. And then obviously Alabama's going to be sick, because we play them at Troy. And last year that game was awesome, and it's just going to feel like it's only going to be more fun this year.
You got to get that Auburn dub. Get that, get that underrated. I'm sure you got like millions of family going to be there too.
I'm super excited for that game.
Love it. Before we dive into some more fun questions, Tyler, you got any more on your end?
Nope, I am all good.
Awesome. So because it's on the clock, we're going to get some rapid fire fun questions, throw them your way. For you, what's the favorite home run that you've hit so far in your career?
Backside USA, the Grand Slam.
Tyler, you're going to have to give me that clip. So we can add it to
it's on Twitter.
Yeah. That was awesome. With the lights going off and everything, pretty sick.
That's awesome. Yeah, we're gonna have to clip that one. We'll add it to the Instagram. For you, so this can be 4 guys that either you looked up to or the top 4 catchers that you're thinking. So who's your Mount Rushmore of catchers?
Growing up, I was a big Brian McCann guy. So I got it, because I always wore 16 until I got to college, and so I got to go Brian McCann. Gosh, I'm trying to think of some older guys that could be up there. Right now, I really like watching Patrick Bailey. So I could put him up there. I also like watching Gabriel Moreno from the Diamondbacks. I don't know if I can really put those guys like on that pedestal yet, but I mean, they're nice. I'd say JT Realmuto is up there with Brian McCann. God, let's think of some more. I can't necessarily think of any that I would like go, but
I think that's a good 4. Like the way we frame the question, it doesn't have to be the top 4 catchers of all time. Just guys that you looked up to, kind of try to model your game after, those kind of things.
Those are probably the 4 guys that I try to model my game after the most.
Yeah.
Not exactly like, they're probably the 4 best all time, but like those are the 4 guys that I would go with.
No, I love that. And then if you could face any MLB starting pitcher, who would it be?
Paul Skeens.
Yeah.
I know y'all probably hear that answer all the time. I was trying to think if there's any like local guys of where I'm from. I couldn't necessarily think of it, but I mean, I feel like just facing him would be awesome, just cool. I mean, just seeing where I compete and stuff like that, and that would just be a cool experience for me.
I mean, he skyrocketed the best pitcher in baseball basically in a half season. So
just like how he prepared stuff too is like a big thing for me, because one thing I always work on is a lot of like arm stuff, and just kind of seeing like how hard he works is. I mean, I'm a catcher too. I throw a lot, obviously not as much, 100%, but I mean, it's the same amount of like it's a lot more throws like that. So just learning how to take care of your body.
I love it. Last question we're gonna go with: walk-up song for 2025. What's it gonna be?
So last year I went with Lowdown.
Okay.
And I'm thinking about redoing it, like redoing it again, but I'm not totally sure, because I've never been the guy to be like, I don't want to do the same song again. But I'm either probably gonna go with Lowdown or TGIF because I'm a big like fan guy. Like it gets me going when the fans are going. I don't really need to like I don't need something that's just like a good song. Like I need something to get me and the fans going and get everybody into it. So those are the two I'm kind of going between right now. So I don't really know yet.
I mean, you had success with the song last year, so it's almost like you got to ride it out.
I got some friends like, dude, you have to do it again. You have to. Like, nah, you can't like do it again. So it's a thing to think about. But I got a few more weeks, and we'll just see where it goes.
I love it, Brooks. We can't thank you enough for taking the time to join us on the Clock. We're looking forward to watching you next year, and gonna be wishing you nothing but the best, man.
Thank y'all so much. Thank y'all for having me on as well. Look forward to seeing y'all too.